Please. I feel like James has been campaigning to bring down my image in Lagos for like a long time.
There you
So
go.
this is just another one of that. But actually, good morning, Lagos, and good morning, Zibby, and good morning, Chris.
All right. Well, it's a beautiful day. It's a rainy day. It's a Thursday. It's almost the weekend. So let's try and sprinkle some positivity. The weekend is upon us. Is that a yay?
Yeah.
Let's.
Oh my days, Oris, you can't even be happy for the weekend.
Please. Rain is falling outside.
Oris.
Please. It's a very cloudy
Showers
day.
of blessings.
Oh my goodness.
Then he wants to put the
It's
blame
super
on me
cloudy.
and say I'm the one
Exactly.
facing him in such a way.
You already infected me, James.
Oh
Oh wow. Saint Faja says, yeah, guys, James with a lot of Z's.
Yeah.
I miss you guys.
We miss you too. Where have
Aw.
you been? I mean, we've been here actually.
Saint Faja, were you here a few days ago? Okay, but welcome
No, actually
back.
missing us, it's like 7 days.
It was like 7 days ago.
Yeah,
So,
so I feel you,
I
man.
totally
Yeah, I miss
get
you
it.
too, bro.
Virtual hug.
But go
Aw.
to YouTube. You always see us there.
Exactly.
The James and Oris show.
We
We're always
always
there.
there.
Yes, the James and Oris show. And in fact, after all these months, I was finally invited to be a guest on the James and Oris show.
That's a mistake. Wasn't that like last year?
You won't even let me have my moment. You're now sounding like Oris.
All right, there you go. There you go.
Wait. What is happening here? You people are making me
Oris.
like the standard for
Nah,
bad vibes.
Wear that badge
Wow.
on your
Bad
chest.
energy, stay
wasn't
far
serious.
away.
Wow. Anyway, I forgive
Nah.
everybody.
Oris comes with great energy. He
Ah.
does. He does. Wow.
Wow.
That's like a Tarzan
King
beat.
Kong.
No, that's King
Oh,
Kong.
King Kong.
That's King Kong.
It could also be a baboon. I live in the
Zazu.
Zazu.
There you
But
go.
please. I do not live in the zoo. Thank you. Although technically Lagos is a zoo.
Oh,
So
wow.
there is that.
One man called this country a zoo, and we know where he is. So, this country is a land filled with hope, joy, and
Should they give
opportunity.
you money for PR, please?
I just love this country so much.
Here we go. And the next thing we say next week now is like, Zibby has jackpot.
No, Zibby-
That's what they
Zibby-
say. Oh, 2
Zibby
weeks,
has-
two weeks
Zibby-
later, they
no,
are
no,
out of
Zibby has
Nigeria.
an alternative passport.
See,
So
Okay,
this
that's
is
true.
my
those
country.
people that have that alternative, they easily say, "Oh, Nigeria
James,
is
you are
fine."
right. The
Yeah,
people
so-
who are most optimistic about Nigeria, people who can
Zibby,
live.
you want to start the show
in a
now?
second.
Let's stop talking
Okay,
about
let's start the show. 0809 That is the WhatsApp number to be a part of it. You can also catch the live stream. Hi YouTube. Just search for Smooth 981 and you can see Zibby and the fellas. Yes, James and Oris right there on the live stream. You can also post a comment as well or just tweet at Smooth 981. So let's start off with celebration because this country is great and it has great citizens. Hilda Bassi is now officially a world record holder.
Yay!
Finally.
Yay! It took weeks, right? About a month or something.
About.
For it to get here. So yeah, I think everybody's happy. And yesterday, 2 days ago, when it was announced anyway, I saw
Crashed.
Twitter. Twitter was just like, people were just all happy.
I heard they crashed them, even the
Yeah, exactly. According to the reports on the GW
Nigerians, y'all so extra.
website, yeah, they said there was so much attention. They said and the thing crashed. But I was wondering, at what stage did that happen? I'm not even sure. Was it when
they posted it, when they announced it?
No, is that no? Because I don't know. I was just like, okay, when exactly did this happen? Was it when she was doing it? People were just checking out to see whether they had put anything up on their site.
I think that might be
Because
it.
there was that complaint. Some people said that even like hours into the entire contest, or into the session,
The attempt, yeah.
she hadn't, or rather the Guinness World
Hadn't
Records
officially-
exactly recognized what she was doing. So maybe that was when that actually happened.
Yeah. And they had to come out and say, look, the way it goes is we have to verify that everything
Exactly.
was
They
done.
have to take a look at the footage.
So-
Eventually, they shaved off about 7 hours. From,
Yes, for an
Oh.
infringement.
I mean, like 93.
Yeah, so it
hours
was,
or
yeah.
something.
So she had said she did 100 hours,
100, yeah.
but it was 93 hours, 11 minutes eventually. So they said something about her taking breaks that weren't quite
There was too long?
official.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why.
And
For
then
me, though,
also,
okay, please.
I mean, just to add to what you're saying, that she didn't know that she could sit or something, like she could rest in between. I think there was something about that she didn't know she could rest because she stood all through while she was cooking in it, so that she didn't know she could actually sit down.
Yeah, but you can sit down and slice vegetable now.
No,
Just
she
take
was
your
standing.
sweet time.
She was standing all through.
Why she was, yeah. Well, I
Why she
think
did
it
that.
was a case of why they took out the 7 hours. Some of the rests weren't in quotes legal, so
Oh,
to speak, yes, for
right.
the contest. So maybe they said after every hour you can take a 5-minute break or something.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she took 10, she took 15 and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
she wasn't really. It looks like she wasn't really clear about some of the guidelines, and so that's why that happened. For me though, I was making a joke yesterday on Twitter that it looks to me like people are celebrating this a lot more than they celebrated the MVC wins and the elections.
Yeah, I mean, you can
which for me
say
feels
that.
like, it just means that when it comes to like recognizing excellence or recognizing great feats, Nigerians as a people, we do not trust Nigerian institutions, which should really, really worry us. Because remember, immediately after the election, immediately after the MBCs, a lot of the complaints were like things they had done wrongly.
Right.
And now you have this, and even if it took a while to get it, people are just incredibly overjoyed by the fact that they have gotten recognized by this in Nigeria, gotten recognized by this body.
I
So
think
feel
when you
like
have
I'm a little
people
disturbed
like
by that.
Hush Puppy, who are the celebrated Nigerians,
Exactly, yes.
when you have a Hilda, it's like, oh my days, this is such a breath of fresh air. So you kind of want to go out. And then it was wide, it was open with elections. I can say, oh, I'm voting this candidate, and when I go there, I'll vote for someone else. So no one really knows. But I think with this one, because everyone could see the effort she was putting in, they could see the timer. So it was sort of like everyone's win in some way.
But let's say this: if the Guinness World Records was a Nigerian company, do you think people would be as excited as they are?
No. So, Oris,
No.
what you're saying is absolutely correct. I mean, I agree. That's what has actually happened. Look, bring it closer to our industry again.
Alright.
Burna Boy, is all up for the Grammys way more than any other award you want to give him around
Exactly,
Africa.
exactly.
It's like the major
For the fact
validation.
that this is what he wants.
Do
Exactly.
you understand?
Yeah.
But outside that one,
Outside of that, it doesn't seem like it cares.
nothing.
I don't think
nothing
it's even
matters.
appeared for any single Nigerian award.
After
honestly.
after the head
After that, it is
2013.
2013.
Do you
Yeah.
understand?
10 years later, yes. I don't think that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's what it is. They don't. So,
Yeah.
So it's
but-
like he's bigger than this right now.
No, so my own concern is it a? I think anyway. That's what I think. I think it's the function of the institutions, not the function of the people. I think that we kind of suspect that there's too much interest other than excellence when it comes to Nigerian institutions. I think that's what people are reacting to. Like they do not trust that a Nigerian body is legitimately giving people who deserve the accolades, the actual accolades.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know who or the championship holder of our local sports league here? Would you know?
No, I'm not sure.
Championship holder.
I mean, championship
Soccer.
what?
What?
Oh, they said they
whatever,
won
local
by the
league,
way.
whatever.
Aimba
Do
won
you understand
for the
what I'm
ninth
saying?
time. So that one is in
okay.
the news. So I
You
think
see?
I know that one.
You
But
see?
you're right.
Is this also a symptom of Nigerians not
It's the
appreciating
same-
things that are Nigerian?
Yes,
but
that's what we're
respecting
saying.
But I'm saying
things that
that
are
the
foreign?
thing is.
Is it mental slavery or is it
No,
lack
no,
of trust?
that's
No,
what
it's
I'm
not
saying.
mental
No, I
slavery.
don't
I
think
don't
it
think
is.
it's
This is the one time I don't think I would blame Nigerians for liking foreign validation. Our institutions have not given us enough for us to say, you know what, we trust you to say this is good and this is bad. And that's the real problem. And so it starts, like I said, it's across fields. Politics, the same thing. Sport, the same thing. Music, the same thing. Film, the same thing. Everything.
Wow. So basically, Nigerians don't trust other Nigerians?
Nigerians don't trust the institutions. That's what I'm saying.
But the institutions are led by Nigerians, by
Yeah,
people.
but that's the thing. I think the issue here is this. Look at Hilda, for instance. Hilda is one person. So I think when it comes to the individual, Nigerians are like, okay, this person can be great. Once it's more than one Nigerian, I say body. Nigerians feel like, too many interests, and you can no longer trust the person, or rather the body anymore. But yeah, you can say Hilda is great. You can say, I don't know, Fasuba, the athlete from Wales is great. Burna Boy is great. But if Nigerians formed a body, a committee, can you say trust it? That is really the problem.
Or is them throwing another one?
That is the real problem.
Look at Super Eagles, for instance.
Yeah.
When we have our foreign coaches and stuff.
Exactly.
The feeling. Do you
Same
understand?
thing.
But when we watch or we follow the World Cup or whatever the tournament is with all ethics, feeling like
yes.
there's hope something's gonna happen. But once you take, what was the last Nigerian coach that we had? Once you take a Nigerian coach along, we just watch like okay, whatever.
Let's see what
If we lose, we don't feel too bad when we lose. Like whatever.
So wait, our standards
Joe or whoever.
Yeah, no, I just think that that the Nigerian individual is great. The Nigerian institutions are not, and we need to figure out how to solve that. Look at the last elections. Everybody liked a particular candidate.
Not everybody, some people did.
Well, exactly. Those people liked a particular candidate, but everybody suspected, even before the results
Before the
people
election.
suspected that this thing might not happen because of the body. So that's the problem. I think Nigerians can have trust in one person, but once it starts to become a committee, like something's going to happen here. There's going to be money influence. There's going to be tribal influences. All of these things.
Right.
I think that's kind of what has made. I can't think of a single institution in Nigeria that would say this is great, and people will say, you know what, you are right, this is great. It is so difficult
tough
to
call.
find.
Wow.
I can't find a single. There's not, and across spaces, like I said, both in politics, both in everything at all. It's so difficult to find.
That is a
anybody.
scary thought.
Very, very. So it means that we would always outsource recognition to outsiders. So it's what I was saying about when during the elections, when there was all of this noise about what was happening, people were not tagging ICPC. They were tagging the US Embassy.
Which was ridiculous.
Can you imagine? But that tells you how we think about institutions. Like, they feel like a Nigerian body against corruption cannot save Nigeria. You have to look abroad. People are saying, oh, let the US, let the UK ban certain politicians from traveling because of what they did during the elections. Nobody trusts that, EFCC, ICPC is going to do anything. They're like, you know what?
Wow.
Let us give this attention to people who might actually help us. So it's ridiculous.
This is a serious issue to talk about.
I was going to say something where you said this is a...
Let's go into our messages. Say Fajo says, I don't trust Nigerian judgments at all. Trust me, we've been failed in different ways. Tayo says, congratulations to Hilda. Over to you, Chef Dami Inekiti and the other chef in Oshu.
Yes,
go. Yes, I'm rooting for Chef Dami. She's a young girl. She's doing something new. I haven't checked the updates for today, but I saw videos yesterday. She clocked 100 hours and there was a lot of dancing and all. I mean, it's a good thing. Everyone wins, really. And Tayo says, if we look outside for validation...
Go ahead.
Oris. If we look outside for validation, we shouldn't also be disappointed when they disappoint us. We shouldn't forget how we had to drag Guinness World Record to Hilda's action. And Nigerians love dragging anyone. Whether you are involved or not involved, you're getting dragged. They dragged the former record holder just because she won a record and Hilda was trying to break it. They dragged Angelique Kidjo because she was nominated alongside Whiskey and she won. So I think there is a level where we were like, okay, this dragging does not make sense. Like, these people are just living their lives.
I don't think we can get there.
Oh.
I think there's a deep satisfaction within the average Nigerian that makes these things happen. So whenever something like this happens, it bubbles up to the surface because we know that, like I said, we can't trust ourselves. So if there is this 2 naira chance, of getting foreign validation, we're like, let us get it. Let us get it. So nobody should stand between us.
You know that thing? I blame Twitter. Twitter is like the voice of the people. It's a platform where you come and talk and it looks like somebody's listening. So, and that's the whole impact of that whole, or what happens with the whole dragging thing. So once you just go and somebody shares the same idea with you, it starts building up, and then before you know it, you just think that
I'm right.
I feel good.
And unfortunately, because some people are so deep into the pack mentality or group mentality, they would always go with what the majority is going with, whether they truly agree or not. Is that fear of being different?
Yeah, it's a true mob thing. If there was a riot somewhere in VI, for instance, you'll be surprised how many people you're like, but how did you people manage to gather? people just saw people. Yeah, so I think what is happening is it's a physical thing, or it's like an offline thing that now has representation online.
Oh, wow.
That's what it is. Yeah. Just the same mob thing. That's what it is.
All right, Emeka says, regards Hilda Bassi, that long review time from Guinness was like a football referee taking forever to review VAR to see if
you can see that.
or
Indeed,
not.
indeed.
Angel says, great way to start the show, and NAFDAC is an exception to the trust deficit.
No, but that is not true anymore. Post Dora Akunyili, I think NAFDAC has become like a big fat joke. I won't lie. When was the last time anybody heard anything about like drugs or like back then, you used to hear about how she would burn a bunch of like illegal drugs.
Yeah.
I can't remember
I
the last
think
time
the
that happened.
problem is they are probably overstretched because there are so many Nigerians trying to beat the system and I'm not trying to hold
Zibby,
for
I
that.
think this has always been the case, even during Dora's time. There was, remember that whole thing? She had an assassination attempt at the time.
Yeah.
But who's trying to assassinate anybody? Because everybody's free. So nobody's trying to be that desperate.
I think NAFDAC
anymore.
can do more. They
Yes,
definitely should do
I mean,
more.
I have a pharmacy degree, so I know this for a fact that NAFDAC has been failing Nigerians for quite a while. And Dora was the last super effective person that we had in that position. Since then, I don't think anybody even knows who the DG is.
No, I don't think so.
So
Whoa,
that's
is this a
again,
drag?
No, but again, this is what I was telling you about Nigerians and institutions.
Right.
We recognize that institutions are weak, but we can say, okay, maybe one person is enough to do something. So Dora was the one person who seems to have changed things. Immediately she left, institution back to being an institution, and you no longer have that one person that can change anything. So I think as a country, we recognize that, like I said, there's a failure of institutions. All we can do is we can hold one person responsible You know, so once that person leaves, it's now about, because institutions are supposed to, a strong man is not strong man, so not strong man, you know. Unfortunately, we don't have that going. So yeah, it's so yeah, NAFDAC is now. I don't think anybody should think of NAFDAC 2023 as like a super effective organization.
Can we agree that Jega didn't get as much dragging?
So exactly. So Jega too again, you know, Jega was one man.
He seemed to
So
be
you see that. So his own personal integrity, as we perceived him, did not even rub off on INEC. Because immediately after he left, we are back to where we were before.
That is a matter of perspective.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Well, yeah, that's what I think.
All right, you're listening to the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. Stay with us. The show continues. Don't forget, we see your messages coming through. Keep them coming. 0809 440 981. Seriously, I was reading something about some evil concoction that people sell in Abuja that's like it's supposed to be.
I saw that in Premium Times.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, what on earth? Like at some point, NAFDAC stopped responding to inquiries because they're like.
In fact, they were like, that the bottle actually has two. Yeah, bottle actually has two NAFDAC numbers. How did they get it?
You know what I've come to see? I've seen that the system NAFDAC, for instance, as it is, now have like an open situation where even their regular staff knows how to do their racket to give you that number. You
so that's the problem. The regulatory bodies across the board. I had a problem with NEPA. This is when they were trying to give meters across, you know. And if you see how long that thing took, because I had to go and complain to NEC. So NEC is the regulatory body for the power sector. You know, and they have one ramshackle office somewhere in Lagos Island.
Yes.
I had to go all the way there. Like, okay, I sent the email today. That email did not get responded to like a month. I was not in Nigeria at the time. I came back. I told them, you know what, I'm not in Nigeria. When I come back in like a week or 2 weeks, I will try and appear there. I showed up. Give me another date. This thing took like a 4-month period.
But even after eventually?
It was, but even badly. So that's the best way to put it. No, seriously, because they now reduced the. It's just terrible, you know. We are right there. These people are lying, you know, because according to them, they have like a band across different areas. They're saying there's a maximum amount, a minimum amount they can charge. Well, of course, as you can imagine, each time they were charging the maximum amount for my street. So when you even did the math and you say, okay, maximum amount across the month, it was still a lot. They were still giving me a lot more than I needed to pay.
All right, we're going on.
And if you want good music, stay tuned to Smooth 98.1.
This is the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. James, Oris, and Zibby.
Yeah.
I didn't get my headphones off in
That's
time.
all right.
Well, I see your messages coming through. Please keep them coming. 0809 440 981 is still streaming live on YouTube. Hi, fellas, give us a wave. Yeah, that's us. just search for Smooth 981 and you can be a part of the show. Now, let's talk about people who are doing brilliant things. Nigerian musician Joe Boy has fulfilled his promise of offering free bus rides to Lagos residents, and this is coming amidst the recent hike in transportation fares. Now, these buses are going to operate from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesday to Friday.
That's super remarkable. You know, I feel like if we had more people doing this, maybe a better place, maybe, you know, but I'm disturbed again, you know, because eventually, should this be something that is done by an individual? It should be done by the government, because they understand
I think individuals can chip in, though, if they can.
But this is, I don't think, have you heard about the government doing it, by the way? You are saying chipping in, right? These people are replacing, it's not chipping in. You understand? They're replacing what the government should do. That's what Joe Boy is doing, to be honest, you know. People have said, you know, everybody knows that immediately you take away the subsidy, there's going to be an increase in prices. One of the very immediate places that affects is transportation. In fact, I think the very day after, 50%, 100% increase in like bus fares, you know, across Lagos. And then people who are already earning maybe say 30K or like minimum wage, 30K, 40K, you know, that has gone to their income. It has halved it, you know. Its possible income has been halved just by that particular move. And we haven't received any alleviation from something like that.
Well, in Lagos State, to be fair, there has been a sort of slash for prices that was announced earlier this year.
What's slash for prices, please?
BRTs, those last mile buses that are owned and operated
when
by
has anybody seen
the
a
state
BRT?
government.
When has anybody? I can't remember last time I spoke to
Well, I don't think they would ply my route. I don't think
I'm just like,
all I see is that
wait, when was the last time you got on
right now?
BRT?
No,
but you're on the street. Like, I mean, we're in VI now.
Yeah.
I live on the mainland. I haven't seen a BRT in months.
Oh wow.
There's a
I haven't seen
BLT
it very
lane.
long.
There's a BLT lane on Third Mainland Bridge.
Exactly.
No, I don't see no BLT.
No, not on 10 million. Is there? On
There
10 million?
is.
No, it's on the corridor. not
No,
on
there's
10 million.
also on Third Mainland Bridge.
Okay.
There's
But
a
yeah,
BLT
I haven't
lane.
seen a single BRT bus in a long time. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm saying that they are so insufficient to take care of the needs of Lagosians. So, and let's face it, if this was something that was really, really, really widely done, I do not know that a few weeks after the hike, a pop musician would be saying, this is one way to help people out. I don't think it will be this immediate.
Okay, wait. You people are, please, can we also talk about people that are driving? Because 1 minute, I bought for 488. The next minute, it was 490.50.
James,
The next day, it was 510.
Do you want Joe to give you a car?
Eh?
What do you want Joe
Oh,
to
there has
do
to be
for you?
something now. You know, yeah, the president said, give poor people a break. Give us
Let
a
them
break.
breathe. Let them breathe.
us
Let them breathe. But you're not among them, James. You're not among them.
No, Husa, like have a Husa moment.
So if you're providing free bus,
But yeah,
how about take tickets, go to the gas station, you have like a voucher to give
Are
you.
you
What is the purpose of
financially
subsidy?
disadvantaged?
I am.
Because things like that would
I
be,
am.
if they exist,
Okay,
would be recommended.
this is national radio. I am financially
But you have to
disadvantaged.
prove it.
Prove how?
No, anyone can come out and say I'm financially
Please.
Can you not feel my
disadvantaged.
pain? Can you not feel
If you have access to YouTube now, take a look at James and take a look at the man. Zoom in and see whether this person looks like he's suffering at all. He's not, by the way. I can tell you guys. He's not. He's right beside me.
Next story.
It's not-
Next story.
he
No
smells-
worry. No worry now.
It smells
No
like
worry.
$1,000,000.
He actually
worry.
does.
Next story, please. Don't
All
worry.
right.
Yes, good news. I'm happy that Jobo is doing this, by the way. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
Well done, Jobo.
solid stuff.
Let's see. Tayo says, good PR from Joe Boy. Buying fuel is not easy these days. And he says, James is a survivor. Okay.
Survive? Okay.
All right. Let's go on to some other messages we had coming through. And Tayo says, NDLEA with Buba Marwa at the helm of affairs. I have to say, the NDLEA is working hard because the drug crisis in this nation.
Yes. Yeah. Buba,
They
yes,
are
I agree now.
working.
Buba Mara is not doing badly at all. With NDA.
But there's still a lot more that should be done. Absolutely. Let's see. Wankwa Anthony says the elections may have been selections, which is why not everyone celebrated it. I think in life, though, people don't celebrate when they are not on the winning team. Usually it's the winning team that would celebrate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we play football now, it's Oris versus Zibby, and I'm scoring. I don't expect Oris to support to be excited
Yes,
when I score.
but you can expect me, I think, after the match is ended, to say
Congratulations.
You know what? Not congratulations. To say, you know what, the referee was impartial. I lost.
Okay.
That's the problem. That there is the problem. So INEC is the referee in this case, and so people are like, you know what, we do not think that penalty they awarded Zibby was right. They gave them 3 penalties. How did that happen? And the infringement happened in somewhere in the halfway line. You get, so that's really is the issue here.
So that's right. I mean, just to add to that, normal level. Let's look at Man City, for instance, and Inter.
Okay,
The last,
The Champions League.
And you look at the game, you watch that game. You just even if you're an Inter fan or wherever you're from, you just watch the game. You just say, Man City deserved to win. So it's why I said congratulations in this situation is that when you look at the situation, you just know that this is a fair and free and fair situation.
Exactly.
Then you can say, no, it's
I
right.
lost, but you know what?
Yes,
it's
but
okay. It's okay.
It's
but
fine.
that's the problem. There's too much opacity. You're not even sure who exactly had won. So that's the problem. Really.
All right. Emeka says, beautiful thing Joe Boy is doing. My only concern is the problem of Agberos. There are days I see colleagues stranded at the bus stop, just picking them up, and you'll have Agberos surrounding your vehicle. This happened to me. I was dropping off a colleague a few weeks ago, and I saw some people who I thought were Agberos literally storm my car. Turns out they were policemen, but they did act a bit like Agberos.
What were you trying to do with your car?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Maybe stopping at the wrong place, or maybe
that is what they claim.
So exactly. So is Zibby a criminal? Is that what's happening? Should we be reporting Zibby to the nearest police station? By the way, let me just know now, please.
Oh wow!
Am I an accomplice by being on this show?
Possibly. Saif Fadre says everybody is financially dependent as long as you don't have, you mean disadvantaged, okay, as long as you don't have 1 billion in your account. Does anyone have 1 billion?
Yeah, but don't you have millionaires in the we do have millionaires. They're just not in this room. We just can't point them out in this studio. Actually.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the problem.
The shade.
My brother, I'm still saving my own to get to pay them.
Well, James, give me subsidy in that case.
Palliatives. Okay, let's talk about the Grammys. Now, African music, of course, is getting more recognition at the global scene. Now, the Recording Academy has added 3 new categories to the Grammy Awards, including Best African Music Performance, and this will have its debut next year.
Big, fat, juicy news. James, what do you think?
So I think it's good news. I think this is really, really nice. But I'm trying to resist the urge
Tell us that part.
of feeling of the validation. You know, always if you remember sometime, maybe we were doing the Oris our show where I was trying to talk about, you know, the fact that the Grammys are recognizing us some more in terms of bringing, you know, in a bid to attach more to the whole Afrobeat movement. They are, you know, give us more recognition and stuff. And I just feel like this adds to it because it's difficult for them. No, maybe not difficult, but they just want to say best Afrobeat category. Do you understand? So, but they just have to look away and best African performance. So this is actually the impact of, or you know, the whole thing that we're talking about. African music now getting more recognition. I mean, look at Burna Boy performed at that's the Super Bowl of soccer, you know, football. Do you understand? So it is just high time, and we are getting the same, should I say the same, or the same level of recognition that reggae music started getting at one point in time. Do you understand?
So, but reggae music has been relegated to that genre.
No, so yes, it has been relegated now because there are other bigger forces growing way more than reggae music right now. In Nigeria, I mean, we can count with our fingers. Do you remember any reggae artist?
Raskimono?
Come on.
He is or he was a reggae artist.
For Nigeria.
How many years ago are we talking about here?
What happened to Oris Femi? Wasn't he some sort of reggae artist?
He's not.
I don't think. I think it's not reggae. I don't think that's.
Of
course, there are influences. Let's not like.
Yes.
So even Tuvis has reggae influences.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't mean that this.
What about Pata Rankin?
Oh no, that's person who actually
Maybe
he's
he's the
well,
only.
he's actually a pop artist now.
Maybe not the only.
Oh wow, the evolution.
Yeah, he's a pop artist. He's kind of like Adekunle Gold now. He started off as this guy who is singing canticles, and then suddenly he's singing pop.
Yes.
Everybody moves in Nigeria because they're trying to increase their funding. Everybody moves towards pop. Every single person. But anyway, but to come back to this, to the Grammys, to this new category. I think there should be a little concern because again, this is what has happened. This is what happens when you are not the person in charge. What has happened now is we have a situation whereby everybody who is African will vie for this particular.
So the back of the bus.
Everybody is going to vie for this. But if you read the Grammys, their citation for this particular category, you see that they mentioned like up to like 15 different sounds.
Yes.
So even if you are singing Kizomba, you are from
Fuji,
Kenya, you are singing Fuji, you are singing
yes.
Afrobeat, whatever it's Afrobeat and Afrobeats, all of them lumped into this one category. Part of it is part of me feels like someone like Burna Boy will be in his house and just be happy that, you know what, after all, I won it before they made everything available for you people to come and win.
Yes.
You know, because now it feels like definitely what's happening is an African artist is going to win a Grammy every single year.
Yeah, yes.
Not Boy won it when that wasn't the case.
True.
You know, so I feel like someone like him will feel like, you know what, my Grammy is superior to a Grammy. we know the kind of guy he is, you know. So I think, and to be fair, I think he will kind of be right.
So let's take a walk back to 1980, right?
Yeah.
The disco genre.
Yeah.
It was big at the time. Gloria Gaynor won an award, but music shifted and people weren't doing disco anymore, and that was the end for that genre. So
really, I don't think that's fair to say that's the end. Something like Mark Ronson's and Uptown Funk with
but the Grammys scrapped the category because the sound of music changed at the time. So right now we have all the African. Sorry, yeah, there was, and only one person ever won it because it was scrapped the following year, Gloria Gaynor.
Okay.
So coming back to where we are now in 2024, it's the Afrobeat rave, and everyone is excited about it. A few years down the line, the sound and style of music changes. What happens to the African artists? Do they get scrapped as well?
No. That's why it's not best Afrobeat. It's not the genre now.
Okay.
It's the continent. So let's remember that. So what they are saying now is like the continent is the best African music performance.
Yes.
You understand?
So does this mean we probably would not see African artists compete in other categories like best album?
So of course that has
best
always
R&B
been
performance?
the major thing about the Grammys. Some people have said, but I've always felt like people who say that are just they're just dreaming in their houses, because the fact of the matter is this: the Grammys, like the Oscars, are a very, very American body. Let's not forget that 1929 when the Oscars started, 1959 when the Grammy started, they did not think about one African guy. They don't think about one Jamaican person. It was something to recognize the music as made in the US and the movies as made in the US. So let's not forget that. So if they have said general categories are like 4, they've increased, I think it's about 6 or 7 now for general categories. It still doesn't mean that you who is singing in your Nigerian pidgin is supposed to be able to get Album of the Year nomination. Clearly, people who are super ambitious feel like they want to be able to like compete on that level.
So it's not going to happen.
No, it will take a while. So look at the Oscars, for instance. Just 2019 was the first time they gave a foreign language film Best Picture. It had happened before Bong Joon-ho won it. Bong Joon-ho won it for Parasite.
Yes.
No, it hadn't happened before.
Oh, right,
before
right.
he won it.
Oh, okay.
Because the movie was not in English. You understand? So it will take a while, and that's 1920. Let's not forget, by the way, the Oscars are like 30 years before the Grammys. 1929, 1959. So if it took 2019 for the Oscars to finally give a foreign language film Best Picture, just imagine how long it will take before a Nigerian can compete in the music, in the general categories at the Grammys.
All right, let's look at some messages coming through and then head on out. Tayo says, nice, this is your chance. Get Rema and Burna Boy on the track. You can still get the Grammy. I see your point. It doesn't look competitive.
Oh, it says nice.
Category. Yes, nice.
That's like some kind of shit, but yeah, fair point.
Simisola says BRT is just a part of the regulated bus scheme. Buses on a dedicated lane, and he's right. It's on Ikorodu Road. The other BRT lanes are Shodi, Abulegba, Igomu. Truthfully, the government should do more to put more buses on the roads, as well as promote the services of the BRT and the last mile buses.
I just remember they bought some of them a while ago. I think
one
of those,
yes, exactly.
Yes.
And I don't think they replaced them.
Let's see. Hamza says, as a listener outside Lagos, there's a whole country outside of the area who can't relate with what Lagos is, because social media, especially Twitter, is dominated by people of the major cities, Lagos in particular. So that bubble is prevalent. Well, that's all the time that we have for the show this morning. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for your messages, and special thanks, as always, to Oris and James.
Yeah!
You can catch them on YouTube, the James and Oris Show.
And also on Twitter, at Catch Oris, and on Instagram, Catch Oris.
All right, James?
Yes, Jam Zone, James Silas. Just look for James Silas, you'll find me there. 1S, don't.
James, how do you have 2 English names? Are you sure you're Nigerian?
I am.
We need to see evidence.
But I like it like this, So when I step out, when I pull up, you just look at me like, where's this guy from? So you don't.
This is the person I was like Nigerian subsidy. Please, my friend, go to New York. Where you
don't worry now.
Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast. Lagos Talk starts from 9 a.m.
Just carry yourself. I'm going to
my brother, if you know the advantage, like pull up. Let me tell you, I have to read my passport. So I was supposed to collect just go with my passport on that day. Guess what? The head of whatever at Ikoyi